By now, you have probably seen a lot of advertisements around town trying to get you to come to the Renaissance Theater tomorrow night, October 17th at 8 p.m. to see The Naked Magicians. And if you're anything like me, that probably brings with it a bunch of questions like, who are the Naked Magicians? Do they actually get naked? Well, all of your questions will be answered in this podcast episode where I get to talk with Mike Tyler, who's actually one of the aforementioned Naked Magicians. Mike was actually able to call into the podcast studio for our interview. He's actually originally from Australia and has been doing the Naked Magician act for the past 4 years or so. Originally, he was a banker, by the way, which I find actually pretty hilarious. But the Naked Magicians is definitely an R-rated magic show. They strip away the top hats and capes, promising full frontal illusions. I'm literally reading this from the Renaissance site. Left without sleeves or pockets, their saucy magic is baffling and entertaining, bringing a new meaning to Now You See It. So if you're interested in going to see the show, definitely check out mansfieldtickets.com. And if you're wondering, yes, they actually do get naked. Now, before we dive into our actual interview, I wanted to take a moment to say thank you to one of the generous newsroom partners supporting the Why the Hell Am I Here podcast, Spherion Staffing. Their job is finding jobs, and they love what they do, which is something we both have in common. Without the support of Spherion, the solutions journalism work we do at Richland Source, including this podcast, just wouldn't be possible. For more information about Spherion, our newsroom partners, and our solutions journalism work, visit richlandsource.com/solutions. From the Richland Source Podcast Network, welcome to Why the Hell Am I Here? A podcast that hopes to answer the big and small questions about where you are in life, where you've been, and where you're going. I'm your host, Brittany Schock. All right, guys, welcome back to the Why the Hell Am I Here podcast. I'm super excited for today's interview and guest because we are talking with Mike Tyler, who is one half of the Naked Magicians who are coming to the Renaissance Theater on October 17th. So welcome to the podcast, Mike.
G'day, Brittany. Thanks for having me on. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm excited. You're my first actual phone interview for the podcast, so we're breaking new ground here.
All right. Well, technology, it's amazing, isn't it? Hopefully we can make it work. I would love to be there in person. I guess you're based in Ohio at the moment. I'm down in Tampa right now. We have a big day of press down here for our American tour that we're on right now, 30 cities across the country. So
I was going to say I bet your weather's nicer, but it's still like 80 degrees here and it's October, which, thanks global warming, but, whatever. So
yeah, plus we do have a hurricane coming into Florida at the moment. So I would rather the weather in Ohio at the moment.
Have you ever been to Ohio before?
I don't know. I haven't been to Mansfield. We're doing Mansfield and Finley in Ohio, this year. So that'll be fun. Mansfield later this month on October 17th. But we actually toured to about 120 different cities around America and Canada in the last couple of years. So it's so hard to keep track of all the different places we've been. Sometimes we just go in for one night and create some havoc at the theatre, get naked, do some magic and all that, and then we're out the next day. We're off in the tour bus or off on a flight to the next city. So I'm actually not sure.
Yeah, I imagine it kind of runs together after some point.
It really does. It really does. But, we actually started here, our very first show back in 2015. So you remember sort of recurring, but yeah, I'm not sure if we've been to Ohio. I want to look it up now. Oh, you know what? We went to Dayton, Ohio.
Oh my gosh, what are the odds? I'm actually from Dayton originally.
Oh, so if I head back to Dayton, how would your parents feel about an Australian son-in-law?
I'm not even going to go there. They'll have to listen to this episode and they're going to definitely call me later and be like, all right.
what happened. We went to Toledo as well, I think.
Okay, yeah.
I'm pretty sure we went to Toledo. I'm actually just eating right now.
So this will give you a nice taste of the whole state.
Oh, in my schedule from last year, that's the only way I can remember right now. We get around a lot. We love it.
So you said you've been doing the Naked Magician act since 2014, right?
Yeah, 2014, February 14th, actually, Valentine's Day was our very first performance of the Naked Magicians. Yeah, it's crazy. So many years ago now. It's gone so quickly, though. So we started in Brisbane, which is our home city. It's on the east coast of Australia. It's beautiful weather, all that. And we kind of started as a little bit of fun to create a magic show that, attracts an audience that wouldn't normally attend a magic show. So instead of doing a show for families or for kids or that, we thought, let's do a girls' night out kind of show where, and it's great for the gay guys as well, which, we love that. We love that too. So, we sat down together, Christopher, the co-star, and myself as two best mates, and designed the show over about 12 months. Premiered in 2014, and since then we've been to 7 countries now. About 300 cities we're up to around the world. Most of them are in Australia and in America. It's like our second home here in the States. We love it.
So tell me, when did you first start getting interested in magic?
I was always interested in magic as a kid, as a child. As a lot of magicians do, they get the magic bug, and a lot of people who don't end up becoming magicians, enjoy magic as a kid, as children as well. But you go through that phase, and I guess I never really grew out of that phase so much. I actually didn't start learning magic though until I was in my very early 20s. So about 10 years ago, I was going on a date with a girl, and a buddy's like, "Why don't you learn a magic trick?" So, and he had like a DVD rather of magic tricks, and I learned this cool trick, and then I went along and totally stuffed up the trick, and the date didn't go super well, and I was our first and only date with her, but the love of magic stuck around, and now I get to tour all around the world performing this show with my best mate, Christopher, the other Naked Magician. So I'm not sure what she's doing now. She's probably married with kids somewhere. But I wouldn't have it any other way.
I've heard before there's kind of this stereotype that magic doesn't really impress women on first dates, but apparently getting naked does. So.
Well, so long as there's consent involved, the show is kind of like a first date, really, where we start the show fully clothed, and we get the audience to get to know us a little bit, enjoy the magic, have a laugh, and we slowly strip away the magic stereotypes and the clothes throughout the show, and we guarantee that we get fully naked by the end of the night. So it is like a first Tinder date, if you will, where you guarantee the nudity. It's it's an interesting thing you mentioned about magic maybe not being super impressive on dates and that. Chris and myself, we didn't really hang out with many other magicians before we designed this show. We don't really like the cheesy stereotypes that you get in magic, the top hats for capes, the magic wands, the rabbits and doves and all that sort of stuff. It sort of belongs, in our mind, it belongs back in like the 1920s, Mm-hmm. So many magicians that are still doing that cheesy stuff that, and unfortunately a lot of people have that idea, that stereotype in their mind of that's what a magic show is going to be like. So like, you know what? Screw that. Stuff that. We're going to do something completely different, and we literally strip away those magic stereotypes. So instead of having like a scantily clad, female assistant, on stage, for the audience to ogle at, we instead have a blob doll as our assistant. We have a fake dove. We have a pretend rabbit, and but we do incredible magic. We do it with non-stop laughs delivered to the audience. We do promise we get naked by the end.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because that has been the number one question that I've gotten is, do they actually get naked, or is it just kind of naked?
No, we really do deliver what's on the box. We're not like the naked chef where he has a show and doesn't get naked and it's all raw ingredients, naked. No, we really do. It is an acting show. So leave the kids at home now. Leave the kids at home for the show. Book the babysitter now and get along to a really fun party night out at the Naked Magicians.
So, okay, you mentioned that you've been into magic for a long time. Have you been okay with being naked for a long time? Like, were you one of those kids that just like streaked around your house when you after a bath or something?
We really weren't. Neither of us are the guys that would do a streak or a nudie run is what we call it in Australia, where you strip down at a party and, run across the field or whatever. We weren't that guy, and I don't think we really are still now in terms of getting naked in public. It only ever happens on stage. And behind closed doors, of course.
Right, yeah. So, that's so funny.
Yeah,
then.
Like the first show, when we did the first performance of the Naked Magicians, it was really daunting for us. It was probably one of the most scariest nights of my life.
Well, yeah. I mean, talk about bearing it all.
Right, exactly. We really do. And I remember being backstage before we went out on stage for our very first performance. And, Chris was the first Australian magician. He's the other Naked Magician. He was the first Australian magician to have his own TV series. I was doing high-end corporate events, networking functions, and that sort of thing. We had full-time careers as that before we did Naked Magicians. And they're sort of careers you can't really go back to. You can't go back to doing kids' shows, family shows, kids' TV spots once you've been naked on stage,
Yeah, that'd be hard to go backwards. It's hard to take that back.
Definitely. He's definitely not welcome back on that kids' morning program back home now. Well, that's okay. He's doing pretty well with me touring around the world. So, yeah, it was really daunting. I remember us just sweating profusely and being super nervous. We weren't very sexy on that very first night of doing the show, but we realized once we got naked, we got so much great feedback from the audience, clapping, applause, cheering, whistling. It's our favorite part of the night now.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
I would imagine it feels kind of empowering too. Like, you've conquered this fear and now it's no big deal to get naked and be that vulnerable. I mean, people are kind of scared about that. I mean, I know I would be.
Yeah, and we were at the point of time when we first started the show. You know what? The two biggest fears that people have generally is public speaking and turning up to work naked. That's like the fears or the bad dreams that people have, and we kind of combine both. So
right? Yeah, I mean, people literally have that nightmare of being in their underwear in front of the crowd, and you live that.
We live that every day. It's not a nightmare for us. It's a dream come true, and we love it.
So is it nerve-wracking to, keep your body in shape then? I mean, do you even allow yourself to eat sweets?
Sweets. Candy. I wouldn't say nerve-wracking. We do have to watch what we eat, though. It's so hard over here in America. We have so much more healthy options back home. And all your food just tastes delicious, but it's so salty and bad and stuff. So we really need to be watchful of that, and it's harder when we're touring around because we need to make sure we find some spots that have sort of half decent food. But yeah, we work at least once a day when we're over here. I want to make sure there is something good to look out for the audience when we do get naked in the show.
So, what's your favorite part about doing this show?
I think it would be the fact that and Chris is the same in this respect, that we get to live our passion. Mm-hmm. So we're both magic geeks at heart, and we've always wanted to be on stage performing. Chris even more so than me. He's wanted to be a magician since he was a kid, and we get to do that. A lot of people don't get to do that, unfortunately. So yeah, that's probably one of my favourite. The other thing is it takes us to places that we would never get to go to if we weren't in a show like the Naked Magicians. I couldn't spend 9 months a year just touring around the world, going sightseeing. So we get to go to places like Mansfield that, aren't a normal tourist destination for an Aussie. Australians come over, they visit LA, New York, maybe San Francisco. Not likely going to go to Mansfield. So it's great that we get to visit all these places and see a bit more of real America than we otherwise would.
Now, tell me, Mike, did I also read that you are a comedy hypnotist?
Oh, yeah. So flirt at your own risk. I am a hypnotist, yeah. It's a skill I learnt many years ago. But there is no hypnosis in the show. There's a lot of mind trickery, using a bit of psychology and predictions, that sort of stuff, and some incredible, incredible magic. We have an escape. We have a knife throw. The magic really is incredible. It's not a couple of guys that just look good naked and decide to learn how to card tricks, you know.
Yeah, this show has substance too, damn it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But, I mean, I think that'd be a little weird if you did have hypnosis in the show. Like, you can't hypnotize the audience and be naked. That's just creepy.
I think there's definitely a line we need to make sure we don't cross. And it's important with our show as well, like, different to, you know, maybe shows, I don't know, but the Naked Magicians, we consent to being in the show. We consent to being up there. We don't mind the audience having a laugh and, you know, whistling, or even, you know, sometimes in the meet and greets we get a cheeky grab, thumb grab or whatever. That's completely fine. The audience consents to when they come along to the show and buy tickets and know it's an 18-plus show, and we love it as well. So, and also we're always very respectful of our audience members. It's always us that become the sexual objects in the show. It's always the two males on stage, just the two of us. And so it's a little bit of a different kind of dynamic than maybe, you know, your old school magic shows with the female magician, the female assistant on stage.
Yeah, that seems purposeful.
You know, helping out with misdirection.
That seems purposeful, like you're purposefully flipping that script and, you know, taking on this kind of sexist trope that the women are always scantily clad and seen as objects, and you're kind of welcoming that but also poking fun at it too, right?
Yeah, I mean, it is part of it. It wasn't like the sole reason we decided to design the show or anything like that. It's not like, you know, we have just a couple of cheeky Aussies, you know, that love getting on stage and making people laugh with a lot of sex. You know, that's really at the core.
Yeah, totally. So tell me about, you know, your friendship with Christopher then. How long have you guys known each other?
We became mates about 7 years ago. It was in Brisbane. He actually came along to a performance of one of my shows, and came up to me afterwards and, "Oh, that's amazing. Can you do some close-up magic for me and my friends?" And I think, sure. So I went over to his table and, you know, routed him with some of my favourite tricks. Actually wasn't sure of who he was at the time. His face looked familiar, but I didn't realise he was a magician. And anyway, at the end, I pinched his watch off him, and yeah, we just became really close mates after that, which I think really helps out with the show. A, because we're touring around with just one another, pretty much, us and our tour manager tour around the world. So it's important we get along, but also I think that energy really comes across on stage in the show, and people can tell that it is really two guys on stage having the most amount of fun delivering the show each night.
Yeah, totally. So tell me, Mike, did you ever have a quote-unquote real job before you became a naked magician?
I did, yeah. I don't normally talk about it much, but I used to work in banking.
In banking?
Yeah, I used to work as a home loan manager in banking many, many years ago. It seems like just a different life to me now.
Right.
And it was crazy, though, because I loved magic all that time while I was working in banking. And I used to have, like, repeat clients come back and see me 2 or 3 years in a row, or you know, for their second or third house to get another loan. And so after, like, once I got to the night, okay, your loan's approved. Do you want to see a magic trick? And I was just so passionate about it, and still am, about magic itself. I'm a magic geek at heart. And yeah, but it's been so long now. I've probably been out of banking about 8 years now.
I mean, that's quite the 180-degree turn there.
Quite a change, isn't it? Going from mild-mannered banker during the day, naked magician by night.
Yeah, no kidding. So, Mike, what do you think? I mean, you guys have been doing this for 4 years now. What do you think is the future for the Naked Magicians? Do you see this continuing in the future?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we have a time limit for ourselves being in the show. You know, like we're in our low 30s at the moment. But, you know, probably not many people are going to want to see us get naked on stage as 50-year-old magicians that are, you know, not as good a shape. You know, we're solid 6 out of 10s right now. But if that slips below 5, we're in trouble. So, you know, we're having the most amount of fun right now, and there is a few other places we'd like to tick off the bucket list. We'd love to, you know, perform in Vegas one day and have a show in New York as well. And I'd love to do a tour around Europe and UK as well. So we've done so many shows, so many different places. We actually toured the show to London's West End in 2016. We've done Edinburgh, Hong Kong, New Zealand, Australia. America and Canada. But there's still some more places we want to get this show out to. And so that's in the next couple of years for us. And then after that, it's anyone's guess. Do you want to apply to be a naked magician?
Oh, boy, I would need to hit the gym quite a bit. So I was going to ask, though, I mean, do you think you'll pass it on to some more naked people, or do you think it'll just end?
Oh, look, I think that's a possibility that we would. I think the difficult thing about that would be finding two people that could actually take over the reins and perform the show. That have to be Aussies, that have to be funny, that have to look good naked, that have to be able to do magic, that have to be up to tour the world, because it is a lifestyle that's not for everyone. So I think that would be the main thing. But at the moment, me and Chris, we're loving it. We're touring around the world, and the show is as funny and as magical as it ever been.
Yeah, living in the moment right now, just enjoying it as it comes. So what are you most looking forward to about performing in Mansfield?
I'm interested to perform in Ohio, because we did Dayton last time, and that was a lot of fun. We had such a big audience came out. I'm pretty sure we had like over 1,000, 1,500 people there.
Wow.
So we're hoping for a nice big audience again this year. And I'm excited just to see a little bit more of real America rather than the New Yorks and the LAs and the Boston. We've seen some of that already. We've been to the Midwest and stuff already. Just excited to get to more and more cities. And also, the theatre there looks amazing. It looks so beautiful, the Renaissance.
Oh, definitely.
It looks like a beautiful old theatre. So that's always fun when we get to play like a majestic-looking theatre like that.
Yeah. Well, for everyone listening, of course, we have the Naked Magicians coming to the Renaissance Theater on October 17th. You can buy tickets on mansfieldtickets.com. Mike, thanks so much for calling in. We really appreciate having you on the podcast, and I can say that a lot of people are looking forward to seeing you bear it all on the Renaissance stage next week.
Thanks, Brittany. Hope you're one of them.
I'm definitely gonna have to now, right? We've talked about it, all the hype. I gotta see if it lives up to it.
Oh yeah, make sure you come to the show.
All right. Well, thanks, Mike, again. I appreciate it. You have a good one.
Thanks, Brittany. You too.
The solutions journalism work we do at Richland Source, including the Why the Hell Am I Here podcast, would not be possible without the support of our newsroom partners, including PR Machine Works, Nanogate, DRM, the Visiting Nurses Association, Richland Bank, Mechanics Bank, Ohio Health, and the Area Agency on Aging. Seriously, I couldn't be more grateful to our community for believing in what we do here just as hard as we do. For more information about our newsroom partners and our solutions journalism work, visit richlandsource.com/solutions. And of course, if you want to listen to more Why the Hell Am I Here episodes, you can find us on richlandsource.com or anywhere you listen to podcasts. We'll see you guys next time.